I'm the Notorious B.I.B. and this is my boy, Paulie G!
Hey!
So, it's Paul's last day of school.
Yep. Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Another one down.
Yeah. And I have the day off too. Although I was just explaining to Paulie G that I'm so busy that taking a day off is just kind of like, now I have to do more work on my non-days off to get all the work done. That's fine, whatever. And Paulie G was saying kind of the same thing. He came up here to work today. He could have just like screwed around, but he's like, they're paying me, so I may as well like get some work done because like the work still has to get done, right?
Exactly.
So you could have taken today off, but then you just have more work to do later.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's nothing to talk about today, Paulie G. There's nothing.
I'm going to go see the Thunderbolts on Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Then I guess we could talk about it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
3 out of 5 stars, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
So, my daughter,
yeah,
who loves films...
The daughter that you produced with your wife?
Yes.
Through procreation?
I was the producer.
You procreated her? Wow.
Yeah.
Good job, Paulie G.
Anyway, she loves films.
Yeah.
But she has not seen any of the things leading up to Thunderbolts. She hasn't seen Black Widow.
Oh, right.
She hasn't seen
Falcon and
Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So all the characters that are in there, she doesn't know who they are.
Mm.
So I was thinking...
Has she seen Ant-Man? Because Ghost is in that.
Oh, that's right.
It's Ant-Man 2. I guess it was Ant-Man 2.
It's Ant-Man 2.
Ghost was in Ant-Man 2.
I doubt she has seen Ant-Man 2.
Which was...
So I was thinking, what do I need to tell her?
The antiest Ant-Man yet. It was Ant-Man 2, the antiest Ant-Man yet, I think it was called. I think that's what it was called.
Anyway, so I was thinking, what should I tell her so that she knows what's going on? Or maybe it's not important. Maybe she'll get all caught up just by watching the first 5 minutes of the movie. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, there's been, yeah. I mean...
There's probably some YouTube video out there that says, hey, haven't seen anything leading up to Thunderbolts? Here's what you need to know.
Yeah, you don't really need to know anyone's backstories all that much. I mean, it would be useful, I guess.
Well, the average person's going to know who all these characters are from the get-go, right?
Not really.
You don't think so?
I mean, they're pretty obscure Marvel characters.
No, but the average person has already seen the movies leading up to this one, and the shows on Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
You don't think it's that big a deal? You've seen it, so.
I don't think so.
Okay, I won't worry about it then.
I mean, they kind of, they fill you in a little bit on people's backstories.
Okay. So like I said, maybe the first 5 minutes will help you.
Yeah.
Tell you what you need to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, the main thing I liked about it was just that it was different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got to do something different these days. You can't just do the same old, like...
Phone it in.
Yeah, you can't phone it in like we do on this show sometimes. But that's okay, because we're not getting paid for this. If we were getting paid, we would need to, like, perform. You know what I mean? But since we're not getting paid, we can do whatever we want. We can phone it in if we want to.
So if you get time off from work, what are you doing for Memorial Day weekend? My family, we are going to visit graves. We're visiting cemeteries on Saturday and on Sunday, but not on Monday to avoid the crowds.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
We tried doing the grave visiting thing like a couple of years ago. Like, we went and visited graves, and it wasn't all that rewarding, to be honest. You know, like you know, like we went. I mean, my relatives are in like 3 different graveyards. It was my relatives. We went to visit my relatives.
Yeah, mine are too.
And mine are in 3 different graveyards, and so we like went to 3 different graveyards, and
Not across the street.
yeah, and they're not like, well, no, not the graveyard across the street. I do live across the street from a graveyard.
That would be handy.
We've mentioned that once or twice on here before, but no, none of my people are in the one across the street. Of course not. They're clear out in. I mean, like, and these 3 graveyards are not close together. There's the Salt Lake graveyard. There's one. The other one was like in West Valley somewhere, and then the other one was in like Highland. So it was just like.
We have City Cemetery, Wasatch Lawn, and Sunset Gardens.
Okay. I don't know exactly where those are, but.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so we went to all these far-flung places, and we visited graves, and it was like, okay, well, we did it, I guess. I mean, it was all right. It's interesting to see what people do. Like, you know, the people we saw there, like people visiting their graves or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it was like some of these, there were these Polynesians that were like, they go and it's like a party and they like clean off the graves and like, I think they like were like Vaselining some of the graves and stuff. I mean, like they just like,
wow,
they like, you know, do all this stuff to the gravestone to make it shiny and new and
wow,
to stay clean or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
What I like about it is my mom tells us stories about these people because they're her grandparents, they're her aunts and uncles. And so when I go every year, I hear these same stories over and over again. And so I know about these people, you know?
Yeah.
So that the stories can be passed on from generation to generation.
Right.
Like somebody in my family, and you know, this is like someone through marriage, so it's not like she's really related closely. But she was like, "Oh, I didn't ever know that about your great grandma or whatever." And I'm like, "If you came to the cemetery, you would have heard this story like every year because we hear the same story every year, you know."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't. You know, I honestly.
Of course, you don't have to go to the cemetery to tell stories about people, right?
Sure.
So.
Do you do it regularly? Do you do this fairly regularly?
Every year.
Really?
So
I don't do it every year.
My mom loves flowers, and so she spends a lot of time making little bouquets out of the flowers in her backyard for people. And she thinks, oh, so-and-so, you know, like my mom would love these flowers, or Uncle Jack would love thistles because he's from Scotland or whatever. Like, she puts a lot of time and effort into it.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. So I do live across the street from the cemetery, and every year everyone comes and decorates the graves and stuff. And then like about a week later, the cemetery just like clears everything off and has like this huge like pile of junk, you know?
Yeah, I've helped out with that in the city cemetery because it's a huge effort to get all the stuff cleaned off.
Yeah, well, yeah, that cemetery is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I find that interesting. It's like, I wonder if people know that like the stuff they put on the grave is just going to get like cleaned off, you know, a week later or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. You can't just leave it there for another year.
Yeah.
Then you'd have a terrible, awful garbage cemetery.
Yeah.
Plus they have to mow the lawn and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, how's that going to work?
Sure.
So
we could go one or two ways here. So you brought up the oral tradition. We could talk about the oral. Let's talk about the oral tradition.
Okay.
Because that's something that interests me because it's like, you know, the town elders or whatever, right? Like they used to serve a purpose, which was like recording the history or whatever, right? It was like they had it in their head.
Yeah.
And they would tell stories like you were saying, your mom does, whatever.
Yep.
And that's how, right? And that's how information was passed down from generation to generation. So nowadays, it's like, I feel like, are those people important anymore? Like are old people? It's like now we have books and everything, right? Like,
That's true. You could document everything, right? Like Family Search, you can put stories in there,
yeah,
and then you could look people up, and there's all the information on there.
yeah,
However, if you document everything and people don't read those books or go online and read those documents,
yeah,
then by us going every year and her telling us those stories, then I know them and I wouldn't otherwise. You know what I mean?
yeah, because you wouldn't like look them up.
I mean, I could,
You could.
but the reason why I know them is because my mom's told me the same stories. It's funny. She'll say, I know I've already told you guys this story before, but I'm going to tell you again, you know, and she'll say the same stories over and over. So you've heard them so many times.
It's interesting. See, I mean, I don't feel, and maybe if I made an effort to reach out, like maybe if I made an effort to go to graves every year, it would mean more to me. But like, I don't feel a huge connection to my ancestors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
I think I do because of going to the cemeteries every year and hearing those stories. And
Really?
then I think, oh wow, I'm excited to meet Uncle Fred someday. I'll bet he was awesome.
interesting. Because I just kind of feel like, yeah, I mean, they did their thing and whatever, and now they're gone, and now I'm here, and it's like I should feel grateful for them, for like me being here,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard to like maintain that connection.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
I mean, you definitely have to. It's definitely something you have to work for, and I don't feel inclined, like you said, I don't feel inclined to like go look up the stories.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Is that bad? Is that bad, Polly G?
We have relatives. My mom always tells us every year that they helped get the movie industry into southern Utah to make like a bunch of movies there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's fun to hear about their story.
Because I know you guys like movies a lot.
Yep. I have an uncle. Well, let's see. I guess it's a great uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He was
was he really great?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was an animator for Disney. He worked on he worked on Snow White, the very first animated movie they made. He had a cartoon about ghosts. All of the cartoons had ghosts for the characters.
Wow.
And he was a seminary teacher, and he was a real prankster. So I just think, oh man, I'll bet I had a lot in common with this guy. I look forward to meeting him someday.
That's interesting because like
that's the Uncle Fred I was talking about.
Because you and Mark are totally into, you know, illustrating and all that. And Mark's worked for Disney and whatever.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
When he was so when he was in high school, he was so popular that when there was an assembly, there were seats for him and his friends, and they wouldn't start the assembly until they got there.
What?
And then one time they got into the principal's office. They like climbed through the ceiling and came out into the principal's office, and then they jumped out the window. They had somebody else jump down below, and they threw the carpet from his office down there to land on, and they went right through the carpet.
Wow.
See, these are the stories that like I hear every year.
That's some Breakfast Club crap right there.
I know, right?
Some Breakfast Club shenanigans.
So, anyway.
Okay. I wonder how much like really gets passed down. You know what I mean? Like I wonder how much of me is, I mean, genetically, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm predisposed to be a certain way because my ancestors, you know, like how much of that gets passed down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like your uncle, your great uncle was like an illustrator or whatever, and you are too. But it's like did that, you know what I mean? Did that get passed down? I don't know.
My dad, uh, his brother is super into sports and not into movies,
Mm.
you know. But then my dad was a drama teacher and very much into music and art,
Yeah.
and they're brothers.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. It's funny.
yeah.
You know, my dad, you know, he was always like, I feel like this, like what we're doing right here is kind of, that speaks to me. Like this is what I like to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I like to be an entertainer, but I feel like my dad was kind of anti that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so, like all I ever heard about was his older brother who ran off to Hollywood to be an actor or whatever, and how dumb that was. And
Oh, really?
yeah.
Wow.
You know? And so I grew up like kind of like, well, I like entertainment and stuff, but like, you know, like getting a job, you know, in that industry is kind of a long shot. So
Sure.
I better just play it safe and like, you know,
Yeah.
work some corporate job or whatever, and you know, play it safe. And I have,
Right.
you know, until we started our YouTube channel. No, I mean, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
You're in those Bible videos.
Yeah, I was in those Bible videos.
That's why Brandon grew his hair long.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, you know, I mean, when was I in those Bible videos? Like,
A long time ago.
yeah, like 10 years, like 15, it's probably been like 15 years now.
Yeah.
So 15 years ago, I finally started to be like, oh, maybe I'll like, you know, look at some other things that actually interest me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the rest of my life, I feel like, I'm not going to say it was wasted, but in some ways it was kind of wasted, just like, you know, working on stuff that I don't really care about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or pursuing stuff I don't really care about. So, I don't know. There you go. What do you think of that, Polly G?
Interesting.
It is, isn't it? Or not. But anyway, yeah, what do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Are you connected to your ancestors? Is it a big deal to you? Have you wasted your entire life doing stuff you don't like, and now you're trying to make up for it? Let us know, and we will answer every comment. And we'll see you in the next video.
Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
See ya.